glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Surprisingly, no one has taken this small, innocuous-looking piece of unstable ordnance. Okay, you now have the unstable ordnance. Remember, it was your idea. Good luck. I would think that something identifiable as unstable ordnance would be low on your list of fun and healthy things to carry. We hope you'll get yourself together and rejoin us. Isn't this a blast? You bend down and scoop up some slime with both hands cupped. You took a little too long. Now it's slime time! As the green slime dissolves the flesh from your bones, you think, hey, this stuff consumes 47 times its weight in acid. Serious damage to important body parts pretty much screws up any future plans you might have had for living. Bummer. Oh well, just think proudly of your accomplishment. On second thought, just think. It even happens to important people. The young shuttle pilot, his seat suddenly humidified by your surprise entry, fires his pulse ray. The shot just misses you and then bounces off the reflective surfaces of the cabin, eventually managing to fatally perforate you. Just as you fade from the Living Organism Club, you think, in amazement, so that's what my spleen looks like. Just as you fade from the Living Organism Club, you think in amazement, so that's what my spleen looks like. Watch out for that first step. That was a long first step. Uh-oh. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
Halt! Some people just won't follow instructions. Halt! Some people just won't follow instructions.
We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. This view provides a flashback to a recent adventure. It looks real hot out there. Hot enough for thermo-weave underwear. This is Roger. This is Roger on Ortega. Any questions? We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
Into the sub, Flyboy.
Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Oh no, the sequel police.
Let's split up. I'll check out Wilco's time pod.
Yeah, Wilco's around here somewhere. I'll search the vicinity. This is Buford. You there, Delphoid? I found Wilco. Repeat, I found Wilco.
This is Delphoid. You there, Buford? I found Wilco. Repeat, I found Wilco.
We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. I'm sure the Latex Babes appreciate your sacrifice. Too bad you can't experience just how appreciative they are. Boy, isn't it just like a sequel police cyborg to guard the main entrances and exits? The change machine looks like a time machine more than a time machine looks like a time machine. For a change. Banging on the change machine will only activate its self-defense mechanism. You were warned not to try to break into the change machine, but did you listen?
I see you've made a selection from our box of slop, bargain bin. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to pay for that? I wouldn't try that if I was you.
It looks like shoplifting is taken seriously around here. Boy, isn't it just like a sequel police cyborg to guard the main entrances and exits?
I see you've made a selection from our box of slop, bargain bin. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to pay for that? I wouldn't try that if I was you.
It looks like shoplifting is taken seriously around here.
Halt, Wilco.
Smoking is bad for your health. Zero-G skating might be perfect for you, since you've got a zero IQ. Zap zap, you're dead.
Halt! Wilco!
Next time, don't dilly-dally, dude. Hint, hitting a moving target is more difficult than hitting a stationary lump. Were you looking for trouble? Maybe you thought you could beat them senseless with your pink bunny rabbit. Well, maybe. It's worth a try. Zap zap, you're dead.
I shall pursue the Wilco unit. Stay and guard the area.
Affirmative.
Why did you just stand there? Well, I guess you just enjoy a laser buzz once in a while. Boy, these guys pop up in the most inconvenient places. They seem to have this area secured. Your extra crispy parts surely provide no threat.
Halt, Wilco.
Smoking is bad for your health. Okay. As the moist surface of your oral muscle comes in contact with the fully energized force field, you realize your mistake. Thousands of volts pass through your cranium, turning your brain into a quivering mass of short-circuited neurons, which effectively terminates all interpretation of sensory impulses. Your musculature spasms for the last time as the force field shock causes you to give up the ghost.
Ouch! Aw, cripes! I hate it when that happens! Aw, cripes!
Thousands of volts pass through your cranium, turning your brain into a quivering mass of short-circuited neurons, which effectively terminates all interpretation of sensory impulses. Your musculature spasms for the last time as the force field shock causes you to give up the ghost. You hear a high-pitched whine from the east. Nice reflexes. Life is pounded loose from your body by the impact of the sand bike. Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. You hear an electronic hum approaching from your left. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? The Pocket Pal screen displays a wealth of almost useful information. You are here. Maybe if you wait a while, the nice droid will come around to where you are and talk to you. While you were busy staring blankly at your Pocket Pal screen, a droid snuck up behind you, tapped you on the shoulder. Zap! You're it! Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? The word laser came to mind after each of the first 6 shots, but only after the 7th blast were you convinced. As you leave the laser tunnel, you hear a metallic voice announce that the formatting program is beginning, erasing all data in the supercomputer and dashing all hopes of regaining your son. The formatting sequence times out, the computer brain does its thing, and you suddenly realize you've lost the game because you weren't there to see it. You were nearly thrown off the edge of the platform. Be more careful. glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Dang. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Well, that's just great. Now Vohal's on the loose again, disguised as your son. You lose 3 out of 2.